Good morning. Sorry, I'm a little late. A little technical difficulties. So full disclosure, this is live. I have children at home. I think the teenagers are still sleeping, but the dog's probably gonna come in and out. So anyway, just full disclosure, I have no idea how this is gonna turn out, but I'm super happy to be here. I'm super happy to show you an incredibly easy dinner, lunch to make. And if you are tuning in now, it's like a little after 10. If you watch this, the replay, it's super easy. It literally takes 15 minutes. It might take me a couple extra minutes today just because I'm talking my way through it. But I wanted to show you the inspiration for this recipe. It's from one of my favorite cookbooks. I wonder if this is gonna be, oh, it's backwards. Anyway, it's Simple by Diana Henry. It's an awesome cookbook. And so it's her linguine. I know I'm gonna butcher the name. All'amalfitana. I'm gonna like channel my Italian roots right there. It is super easy. There is one ingredient though that's a little controversial, so I'm gonna kind of walk you through it. It's anchovy. Anchovies, I know for a fact, are still on the shelves. So even if your grocery stores are looking a little bare, I guarantee you people are walking right by the anchovies. And you actually don't even have to buy like the can or the tin of anchovies. You can get the jar of anchovies, or you can get the paste, which is even easier, and then you don't have to even worry about chopping them up. So it doesn't add fish flavor. I think a lot of people feel like it adds a fishy flavor, but if you like Caesar salad, and if you've ever had Caesar salad dressing, you've had anchovies. And it just adds this like wonderful umami, like extra depth flavor profile. So it's similar to like what you would find like in like the flavor that mushrooms would add to something, or a miso paste would add to something. So it's actually a really wonderful way to add just another layer of deep flavor. And I promise you, it's not gonna make your dish taste fishy. So I'm gonna wait for a couple minutes, see if anyone else shows up. I've got my morning coffee. Yeah, how's your new normal going, by the way? My kids actually started online school yesterday, so we've got a little bit more of a routine going here. I'm really fortunate that I have a college and a high school kiddo, so I don't have to worry about entertaining like super young kids. So if you have super little kids, I feel for you. But I do love seeing so much information out there on programs and free tutorials and free like drawing classes. So much free stuff out there if you have little kids. So, which I think is awesome. Anyway, so if you are here and you have questions while I'm going live, just drop them in the comments. I'm happy to chat with you. If you don't have ingredients that I'm talking about, just ask away. I'm happy to find substitutions. I'm gonna show you what I'm making. So it's from my favorite cookbook, Simple by Diana Henry. If you don't have this cookbook, I know Amazon's deliveries are a little slow right now, but put it in your Amazon, or when we are able to leave our houses again, go to your local bookstore. I know if you are here in the Seattle area, Book Larder is a fabulous resource. So I'm gonna make a recipe from her book today, and it's called the Linguine all'amalfitana, which I probably just butchered, so I'm trying to channel my Italian roots. I do have some in there somewhere. I'm not using linguine. You don't have to use linguine. You can use any pasta you have. You can use spaghetti, you can use fettuccine, you can use penne, rigatoni. If you do have pasta that has like the little ridges and the nooks and crannies, like orecchietti would be really good. You want kind of something that's saucy, that's gonna kind of get all that good stuff going. So I'm gonna start cooking. I've got the pasta boiling, or the water boiling. I figured, who wants to sit around and watch me boil water? So it's a super easy recipe though, and usually I start making the sauce the minute I put the pasta in, because literally while your pasta's cooking, the sauce cooks. So I'm gonna go gather up all my ingredients. We're gonna do a little olive oil. This might be a little wonky, but I'm gonna carry it over with me. I went over to my stove. We'll situate, it's kind of a rainy day here today. So I'm gonna put this down. And if you have any questions, usually I have my kiddos. I've got my kids usually are helping me with lives. So I will try and answer as many questions as I can. I'm gonna put a little olive oil, goes in the pan, and we're gonna heat a little olive oil. My water is almost boiling, so I'm just gonna kind of prep. You wanna put about a tablespoon of olive oil, and then you're gonna get walnuts. I love to get the walnuts from Trader Joe's that already are in like little bits and pieces. These, because that way it just saves me an extra step of having to chop them up. So you're gonna get your walnuts ready, you're gonna get your chili flakes ready. So I'm gonna grab I've got these, want your red pepper chili flakes, and you can adjust the spice. So if you don't like spice, you can just add less chili flakes. So you want the chili flakes, and then like I talked about before, you want to get anchovies. So I've got anchovy paste, which is just as good. And trust me, if you're just tuning in, your store still has anchovies. You can get the jarred, you can get the tin. If you do get the jarred or the whole fillets, you want to dice them up really fine, and they just kind of will melt into this sauce, making it kind of just unctuous and warm and this wonderful kind of underlying flavor. But I'm gonna use paste today, so I'm gonna have that already. So I'm just gonna kind of get my ingredients ready, because the minute I put my sauce in, actually, you know what? I'm gonna take you back over here. Oops, we're gonna leave and we're gonna come back over here because I need to do some garlic. So I'm gonna show you, oops. I'm gonna go grab some garlic and we're gonna slice it up because we're gonna add some garlic to this too, which will be super good. Okay, so sorry about that, I forgot to get my garlic. So we're gonna I like to do 2 garlic cloves, and we're gonna crush them and then thinly slice them, because you don't want, okay, this is the wrong knife for this, but never mind. You can also mince them. Can you see? Let's see. Oh yeah, you can see. Okay. You can also mince them, so I might actually do that because I don't. The thing with having kids home, do you guys find that if you have college kids home, they're putting stuff away, which is awesome, but then they put it in the wrong place. So now I can never find what I'm looking for. Okay, so we're gonna mince this. We're gonna prep it in the little mincer right here. And we're gonna add this, get it all ready. Just put it right here on the cutting board, because as soon as the pasta goes in, you're gonna get the sauce started. And basically what the sauce is, it is literally just garlic, a little anchovy, red chili flakes, and the walnuts all together. And it makes this wonderful, lovely, like flavorful and nutty, warm, easy sauce. And you can add other flavors to it. So we're gonna just take my cutting board, take this over to the stove. I'll bring you guys along too. Okay, for everyone that does lives all the time with one person, I need to like get better at this. Okay, so we're gonna go over here. Let's see, can we see this? There we go. You can see. I'm gonna check and see if you have any questions. If you're just tuning in, I'm making a super, super easy, literally like 5 ingredient pasta dish. I'm just waiting for my pasta to boil, because as soon as the pasta boils, we're gonna get started. So it's almost, the water is almost ready to boil. I'm gonna heat this up. It literally, this is no joke, it literally takes like 15 minutes. And it might take me a little bit longer because I'm chatting. So we're just gonna get the oil heated. And then to start with, we're gonna add the walnuts, and we're gonna add the garlic, and we're gonna add the chili flakes. So the walnuts is about, I usually add more. We've got about 1/3 cup of walnuts. I like to leave them on the big side. But you can cut them, you can be, this is what 1/3 of a cup looks like. And like I said, I like to buy the walnuts, these walnuts from Trader Joe's that already are like in pieces and halves. It just like saves a step. And you can also pre-make the sauce. Like you can get the walnuts and the chili flakes and the garlic all cooking, and then add the anchovy paste and just set it aside until your pasta is cooked. So you can also do that too. And you also don't have to have a teaspoon. You don't have to use linguine. You can use any pasta that is in your cupboard. So you can use, oh my gosh, I'll show you guys, I'm using spaghetti. This is the pasta I'm using today. I'm using spaghetti, you can use penne, you can use farfalle. I would recommend, if you have any pasta in your cupboard that has like little ridges, to use that, just because the ridges will help kind of hold the sauce. It kind of hugs the sauce better. So here, I'm gonna put this back up because nothing, let's see, we'll see if you have any questions. Alrighty, feel free to drop questions. So if you are just tuned in, this is what I'm making. One of my favorite pastas from Diana Henry's book, Simple. It is literally a simple sauce that is walnuts. So I'm using these from Trader Joe's, crushed walnuts, some chili flakes. So I'm using these, a little garlic, and then, secret ingredient, anchovy paste. So if you are wondering like, oh my gosh, like anchovy, like is it gonna add fish flavor? Anchovy adds like a really wonderful umami flavor. It's like a really rich, underlying comforting flavor. It's similar to like if you add mushrooms to a dish or miso to a dish, so it will not add fish flavor. And if you don't want to like dice up the anchovies, anchovy paste also works. So I usually do like a teaspoonful of anchovy paste, teaspoon and a half, and it just kind of melts into the sauce, making it like so like, oh gosh, it was wonderful. Okay, so our oil is ready. So you know oil is ready when it loosens up. So see, it's nice and loose in the pan. You don't want it to be steaming. You want to make sure that you're just warming the garlic. You're warming the garlic, you're warming the walnuts, you're warming the chili flakes, because it's basically just opening them up and kind of releasing their flavor into the olive oil. So you're basically, in essence, making a flavored olive oil to toss your pasta in. So you want to make sure that it's on low heat because you don't want to brown or burn your garlic. So burnt garlic equals bitter, and that's not good. So I'm gonna put let's move this back down. If you have any questions or if you want to know any substitutions, let me know. So we're gonna add, we're gonna add the garlic first. A little garlic. Just make sure, like I said, you want it on low heat. Go. And then we're gonna add walnuts. And you can also easily control the heat. I'm gonna add a little less than half a teaspoon, because my family does not like it super spicy. And you're basically gonna toast it up. Toasting the walnuts also releases their flavor and gets them, I know this sounds kind of obvious, but it gets them extra nutty. So you just wanna toast them up like this. And my stove runs really hot, so usually I kind of put it on half the burner. Can you see? There you go. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask away. So you just wanna, and all of a sudden it'll just start smelling so good. I'm gonna move my cutting board. And if all of a sudden the garlic starts getting too brown, and then that started getting a little too toasty, you can stop it. Just turn off the stove and wait for your pasta to be finished, because I did kind of start this a little early, so that I haven't even dropped my pasta in. So, but you can get this started early, and then just set this aside, and then you're gonna reheat it before you add your pasta. So you just wanna you wanna keep stirring, because like I said, you wanna make sure, it's okay if your garlic starts getting like a tinged brown, but you don't wanna burn it. You're just toasting everything up, and it's gonna start creating the most amazing flavor through your house. And if you're making this now, like lunch is ready. Like you can just set it aside, and when people are hungry for lunch, you can point them in the direction of this. Okay, my pasta water is almost boiling. So yeah, I think we're gonna set this aside, which is totally fine. This sits just fine. And like I said, my stove tends to run on the hot side, so you can see that it's kind of, I wish you could smell it. Too bad this doesn't have smell-o-vision, but you can see where the nuts are starting to get kind of a little toasty brown. It smells really aromatic. You can smell the garlic, you can smell the nuts, you can smell the red peppers. I might add just a little bit more olive oil. And again, like you can control the spice, so you can add less chili flakes. If you like it super spicy, you can add more chili flakes. The great thing about cooking is that you just adjust the spice based on what you like. It's really easy. And if you don't have walnuts, you can use pecans, you can use hazelnuts, would be really good. Pine nuts. Pine nuts would burn really quickly though. So for pine nuts, you would want to really keep an eye, because pine nuts cook super fast. Okay, so I think we're all good on this. I am gonna set this aside. Like I said, super easy. I'm gonna turn off my stove. I'm gonna come back over here for questions, because like I said, let's see. Sorry, I'll show you me in a second. There we go. Usually I have like one of my kids helping me. It's like been the big bonus of having them home, but they're still sleeping. So, well, actually they're probably awake, but they haven't arisen yet. So if you have any questions, let me know. If you have things in your pantry that you have no idea how to make them into dinner, I'm here to help, because I love pantry cooking. It's like, I was telling someone the other day, I feel like if I had a superpower, like that would be my superpower. I have always loved like stretching out grocery trips. Even though I love going to the grocery store, I love seeing how many dishes I can create from what I already have on hand, and which is especially important now because, so few of us can leave our house, and if we do, it is just to the grocery store. But still, I think it's really important to realize that we do have food in our pantries, in our fridge, and freezer, and there's so many ways we can be creative using them, or use ingredients that are still plentiful in the stores, like I was talking about earlier. Anchovy paste, it's there. I've seen it. I've seen the paste. I've seen, and we're gonna add the paste later. I haven't forgotten about it. We're gonna add the paste right before I add the pasta, because I want to have a chance to have it kind of really kind of infuse that olive oil with all of its flavors. So there is absolutely anchovy paste. People are passing that up. So anchovy paste, capers, I've seen a ton of capers, and capers add an awesome, wonderful briny flavor. You can put them in salad dressings and marinades and fish and sauces. Like I love making a tartar sauce and using capers. So I've seen capers a lot on the shelves. So there is still plenty of food out there. It's just a matter of being creative when you use it. Okay, water's boiling. I'm gonna dump my pasta in, and while the pasta cooks, I'm gonna wait for about like 5 minutes. So I've got about 5 minutes to answer questions. So if you have things in your pantry that are hanging out that you have no idea what to do, drop a comment. If you're watching this as a replay, leave a comment and I'll check back. So hang on one second, I'm gonna drop my pasta in here. And it's really important. You wanna make sure, pasta has no flavor, so you wanna make sure you want the water to taste like the ocean. That's what my grandmother always would tell me. You want the pasta, you want the pasta to taste like the ocean. So you wanna put, it seems like almost a ridiculous amount of salt in the water, but that's how you're gonna flavor the pasta, because pasta, it doesn't have any flavor. It depends on the salted water, and it depends on the sauce you put on it. So I'm gonna liberally, I don't know if you can see how much is coming out, but there's a ton of salt coming out. And I love using, I'll show you my favorite. Let me drop the pasta. I'm using spaghetti today. Even though the recipe calls for linguine, you can use any pasta. I would highly recommend using a pasta that the sauce can kind of cling and attach to, so like a spaghetti or a fettuccine would be really good. An orecchiette would be really good. Push this down here. Alexa, set timer for 6 minutes.
6 minutes, starting now.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I honestly would do without the Echo. What saves me. And what's really important too is we're gonna use some of the pasta water. The pasta water will help loosen, the starch in the water will help loosen the sauce and kind of help it adhere more to the pasta. So I am really famous for forgetting. So what I like to do is I put a measuring glass right near the pasta pot. Sometimes I'll even put a note on it saying, get the pasta water. So I'm gonna put maybe like a cup. I always like to grab a little bit more because after the pasta's cooking, you're not gonna need the pasta water anyway. So I fill this with like about a cup of pasta water, and then I'll add that to the sauce. So while this is cooking, okay. Alrighty, so we've got 5 minutes. How is your new normal going, by the way? I feel like we're all having to adjust to like a new normal. With kids home, I've tried to get into like the habit of waking up in the morning and grabbing my coffee and then taking the dog for a quick walk and doing a quick workout before getting to work. And I am lucky that my kids are older, but still it's tough, right? Getting used to this new normal and cooking, and I love to cook. I feel like I'm always in the kitchen cooking. So like drop a yeah if you're feeling the same way, or like a wave or like a thumbs up, and I love to cook, but I literally feel like I'm cooking constantly. Like I'll clean at breakfast and then it's time for people to eat lunch, which by the way, I'm very excited that I'm doing this live because this we can lunch or dinner or a snack, because people in this house are always eating. Always eating. So anyway, so while the pasta cooks, I was gonna go talk to you about some other ideas for pasta. So usually, there's marinara sauces. If you have herbs that are looking wilted and kind of dead and don't have fresh basil, parsley, cilantro, thyme, all combine to make a really good pesto. So you can use parsley along with like the garlic and the lemon juice. I always like a little lemon in my pesto because it keeps it bright. It keeps the green really vibrant. So you can use other herbs besides basil to make pesto that's really good. And if you saw, I don't know if you follow me on Instagram. If you don't, you can follow me on Instagram because I have even more behind the scenes stuff and videos and cooking tips over Instagram. But on Instagram, I posted a photo of kale pesto, and it's literally like, it's so good. And this is coming from someone who has 2 picky eaters who do not eat kale. If you blanch it first, it takes the bitterness out of the kale. And then so you blanch it first, and then just whiz it with the rest of the pesto ingredients. So like cheese and garlic and lemon juice for brightness, and olive oil, little chili flakes if you want a little spice. It makes such good pesto. Both my kids ate it. Both my kids went back for seconds, and I didn't tell them until later that it was actually kale. So it's like a win-win. Anyway, so I'm gonna go look at the pasta. Not quite there. I like to cook my pasta al dente with a little bite to it. And here, I'll show you what the sauce looks like. So the sauce is just kind of hanging out. I'm gonna tip this. So yeah, the sauce is just hanging out. There we go. And what I think I'm gonna do too is I love to add the pasta. I'm not gonna drain the pasta. I'm gonna put the pasta straight into the pan because it will already have some of the cooking water adhering to it. So, and then that's the really great way to also get your pasta super flavorful is you don't ever want to spoon your sauce on top of pasta. You want to put the pasta into the sauce and stir it around. And so it has a good chance of the sauce adhering to the pasta and really adding that awesome flavor to it. So right now we've got some walnuts, we've got garlic and red pepper chili flakes in here. If you just are tuning in, I'm using these walnuts. I like to use these walnuts from Trader Joe's because they're already in halves and pieces. And I like bigger chunks of walnuts. But if you want your walnuts to be smaller, you can cut them smaller. You can also adjust the spice by adding more or less of the red pepper flakes. I added a little bit more olive oil in here. It's basically just based on what you like to cook and what you like to eat. So I'm also gonna put just a little bit more olive oil in here to loosen this up. I do like a little extra olive oil in this, and I'm gonna do a squeeze of lemon juice at the end to brighten it. I found that if you taste a dish and feel like it's lacking, the 2 things it's most likely lacking are salt or lemon. You need to add a little acid or a little extra salt. And it's amazing what a difference taste-wise it makes to the dish. And just taste my pasta here. I think we're still too done. And because I'm adding the pasta to this, I'm getting it I'm gonna undercook it just a little bit so that when it warms in the pan, it's gonna continue cooking and it won't get mushy because there's literally nothing worse than mushy pasta. So I'm just heating this up. You're basically making a flavored olive oil. So the olive oil is flavored with the nuts, the garlic, and the red pepper flakes. And then I'm gonna add a good squeeze of anchovy paste. So the recipe calls for 8 fillets, but I don't have any. So I'm gonna put, that's probably a good tablespoon. And it's gonna add like this wonderful umami flavor to the dish, and it just melts in. Now obviously the paste is gonna melt in, Alexa off. The paste is gonna melt in a little faster than the fillets, but it's gonna add so much depth of flavor. And if you are at your grocery store, I guarantee you that your store is not out of anchovy paste. This is the one that I use. You can also order it, but I'm sure all the stores have this. Anchovy paste, or you can do the fillets. And if you do the fillets, you wanna just take them out of the oil and then finely chop them up. Oh my God, this smells so good. And they add, like I said, they add this wonderful umami flavor, kind of similar to what a miso adds or mushrooms add. It's like this dark, earthy, deep flavor that is so good. So I'm gonna taste. Just another minute. We're getting close to the pasta. Alexa, set timer for 2 minutes. And if your pasta's not quite done, you can set this on super, super low heat. I'm just gonna move this off here, because it will sit. It will sit really easily. So you can make up into this point to set it aside while your pasta cooks. I usually time this a little bit better, but that's okay. I've been trying with you guys anyway. So, oh my gosh, this smells so good. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. So what is in the pan are walnuts, garlic, red chili flakes, and some anchovy paste. So this is the anchovy paste I've used. If you're just tuning in, you could also use whole anchovy fillets, and you would just finely dice them, and they just melt into the sauce. They do not add a fishy flavor. If you like Caesar salad, you know kind of the flavor that anchovies will add. It's like this wonderful umami, salty. They definitely add salt, but they do not add fish. And it just adds this wonderful layer of flavor. So you're basically making a flavored olive oil with the walnuts and the garlic and the chili flakes and the anchovy paste. And then you're gonna add the pasta, and it's gonna coat it in the most wonderful way that is so good. I'm gonna add a little lemon juice at the end. I'll add some fresh parsley, some Parmesan cheese, and literally this dish comes together in like 15 minutes. What I do is I bring water to boil, and then as soon as I drop the pasta in the water, I start the sauce. And by the time the sauce all comes together, the pasta's done. So we're just waiting for like another minute. I wanna make sure that my pasta is al dente. Maybe I'll lift this up so you can see the whole, oh, you're not just staring at one. There we go. There, okay. That's better. Oh, and you can see like, I was cleaning the counters earlier. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's better probably, huh? Okay, so I also have this measuring cup because I always usually forget to grab some pasta water, because the pasta water actually helps loosen the sauce. Oops, okay, now those are hanging out in the boiling water a little too long. Alexa, off. Okay, so the pasta's been cooking for about 8 minutes. I usually cook it for about 3 minutes less than the package. We're so close. Alexa, set timer for 1 minute. Because I find that the package usually overcooks the pasta, and I like my pasta al dente. My mom is part Italian, and my grandmother's a big cook. And I just remember being drilled in when I was young that you do not ever want mushy pasta. You want it to be nice and al dente, which means toothsome. You want to have a bite to it. So we're super close. And this also reheats really well. If you make this early in the day, or you make this for lunch and you want some leftovers for dinner, just reheat it really gently. There's no cream in it, so it actually reheats really lovely. And there's no need, normally I would add salt and pepper to the sauce, but there's no need. The anchovy will add plenty of salt. You've got the red chili flakes, which will add the heat. So I find that it really does not need any more salt or pepper. You can kind of see, look how gorgeous. It's like a kind of a caramely brown color. And if you want it more of an olive oil base, you can also add, so you can add a little bit more olive oil if you want. I started off with a couple tablespoons. Alexa, off. Okay. So I think this pasta is going to be done. I'm just going to taste one. And feel free to ask away if you have any pantry items that you have no idea what to use or how to put them together in a dish. Oh yeah, that's done. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, like I said, grab some of the pasta water in case I need to loosen the sauce up. Turn this off. I'm just going to bring this closer. And I'm going to put the pasta directly in. So normally I would strain it, but I want some of that gorgeous starchy water. And this actually easily adds some starchy water. You want to hold it up and drain it a little bit. And turn it down on low heat. So you're basically just infusing the pasta with the flavor of the sauce. It's really simple. Like simple ingredients right now are so important. And I think when you use less ingredients too, you really taste the ingredients that are in your dish. Nothing's muddled. So I'm just tossing. Actually, I think I'm going to turn my stove off because the residual heat is going to do what I need it to do. Keep adding the pasta. You always want to add your pasta to whatever sauce you've made. You never want to spoon your sauce on top of pasta. You always want to incorporate it this way because this is the way that you're going to flavor your pasta. So like I talked about earlier, pasta does not have a flavor. You want to use the sauce and use the salt and the water to flavor the pasta. And it kind of turns like kind of a caramely brown. Just going to kind of toss this. I'm going to grab some lemon juice because I always love adding some lemon juice. It just kind of brightens everything up a little bit. So I'm going to add a little squeeze of lemon juice to it. You can also add a little lemon zest. More lemony flavor is in the zest. Just add a little bit. And just kind of continue tossing. And that's dinner or lunch. What I'll do is I will garnish it with like plenty of Parmesan cheese. I'll also throw in some fresh parsley for a little added freshness. And that's it. That is the linguine alla Amalfi. I totally butchered the name. Anyway, so that's what it looks like when it's all done. And literally it takes like 15 minutes. It took a little bit longer today because I was chatting away, but that's it. And this will reheat beautifully. So I'll serve this for lunch and there'll be leftovers for dinner. If you want, you can also add protein to this. Shrimp would be really great in this. You can add chicken to this if you have leftover, or if you just want to cook up some chicken or cook up some shrimp and add to it. This would be a really good base. So that's it, yeah. That's how easy that was. So do you guys have any questions? Or if you tuned in, here we go. I'll turn it back on me for a second. Do you have any questions about the dish? Or it's so good. Literally, this dish I make all the time because it has very few ingredients. And I'm trying to provide you guys with dishes too, where the ingredients, if you do have to go to the store, are plentiful. And right now, there's plenty of anchovy out there. There's plenty of anchovy paste out there. I mean, look how good that looks. It's so yummy and it's so easy. So if you don't already have some, next time you're going to the grocery store or placing an order online, anchovy. It's a really good base for so many dishes. It's like a miso, umami, mushroomy flavor. It adds a little bit of salt. It does not add fish, I promise you. Your pasta will not taste like fish. So if you're just tuning in, this is what I made. I'm gonna post the recipe on the website later. menuforyou.com is where you can go grab the recipe. I'm gonna type it up. I also added a little lemon juice. I find that when you're cooking, if you taste something and you feel like it's missing a little something, lemon juice and salt. Lemon juice, the acid, and salt just brings up the flavors. So if you feel like you're tasting something, whether it's soup or stew or a dish or a sauce, I guarantee you if you're like, what's it missing? Lemon juice and salt. So if you have any questions, pop them in below, or I'm gonna go get a workout in at my new gym, which is otherwise known as the bedroom, which by the way, if you're looking for an online workout, I have discovered Obe Fitness, OBE Fitness. So many classes, it's so good. And I think it was Katie Lee, if you watch Food Network, she had a 30-day code to put in, which is at home. So if you like to work out, and I mean, we're all like baking up a storm. Like my daughter has made more cookies and bread, and I've got banana bread that's coming. I'm actually gonna make strawberry scones. So I'm gonna put that up on my Instagram. So if you want to know or follow along while I'm making scones, you can head over to my Instagram. But yeah, if you're looking for an online fitness class, it's so good. So I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna put this aside so that my family has something for lunch when they are hungry, which should probably be in about an hour because, like I said earlier, everyone around here is always hungry. So I hope this was super helpful to you. If you're watching the replay and you are looking in your pantry or your fridge and freezer saying, I have no idea how to combine ingredients to make dinner, drop a message here. You can PM me. You can email me at lisa@amenuforyou.com. You can always sign up for my newsletter. Link is over on the website, amenuforyou.com. My newsletter goes out. It used to go out once a week, and now it goes out 3 times a week. It has loads of tips for menu planning and cooking and shopping, so you can also do that. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me today. Have an awesome, what's today? I think it's a Wednesday. I'm pretty sure it's a Wednesday. Whatever day it is, have a good day, stay safe, stay healthy, and best of all, stay cooking. Alrighty, talk to you guys later. Bye.